good show. Yeah, yeah. Steve and Colin. Hell yeah. Doing a good show. That's right. Steve and Colin. Right on. Gonna do a good show. Hell yes. Steve and Colin. You just never know. No, you don't.
Hey. Yeah, that was so good. We want to play it again. You're muted.
Muted. Why is it playing
Amateur.
again? That was a good one. Well, you can't hear that song more enough.
No.
I'm still muted.
The dance mix is really good.
Oh wait, hold on.
Welcome to Hidden Gems. We're doing films this week. We sort of try to define what we thought a hidden gem was, which is something that's outside of the mainstream, I guess. Something like that.
Yeah, well, something that should have been more popular than it was, according to us.
Yeah.
The chances of the majority of people seeing it are very low.
Right. Should I start?
Yeah, go ahead and start. I'm gonna check to see. Anyone, let us know if there are any audio issues, because we can't really hear the direct feed.
I'm going to start with this film. It's called Don't Worry, He Won't Get Far on Foot. Came out in 2018, just a few years ago, directed by Gus Van Sant and starring, you can see there, Joaquin Phoenix and Jonah Hill. And this film, you know, when you see a film and it ends and you know that you've seen an amazing film, there's just that feeling that you have. It's not just like, oh, that was good acting or that was good cinematography. It just hits you. It has like, that to me is like a really good film when it hits me emotionally, because I'm invested in the characters and it's really interesting. And I watched this film and I was like, wow, I just had that feeling. And I knew right away, I was like, A, it will get nominated for an Academy Award. B, Joaquin Phoenix will get nominated for his performance. Jonah Hill will get nominated supporting. Gus Van Sant probably will get nominated for Best Director. And I saw this film at a pre-screening at the Castro. Gus Van Sant was there, as well as Danny Elfman, who did the music for the film. So they were on stage for Q&A after, which is cool. But it really surprised me because, and I don't know, this is an Amazon produced film, I guess. It did have a theatrical release. But I don't know if it's because it didn't have a huge release or, if it was through a more standard studio, if they would have given it like a bigger push. But I was just really shocked because inarguably, Joaquin Phoenix is one of the greatest actors, I think, of our generation.
Yeah, for sure.
And this performance is as good as Joker, which he was amazing in. So it just really surprised me. What the film is about is it's a true story about a cartoonist by the name of John Callahan. It's from Portland, and it's not a spoiler, but he becomes a quadriplegic at 21, and he's pretty much living out of a bottle. His life is a mess. And then he kind of discovers cartooning, and he discovers he has kind of a talent for it. And his cartoons are we have one here. I'll show you one. It's as an example. They're like he makes fun of religion and all kinds of things. But
yeah, this one's clearly about religion.
Yeah. But yeah, so I was just really, really shocked. Jack Black is in the movie.
Oh, wow.
Rooney Mara's in the movie. I believe that's where they met. It's a movie about a real person and someone who has a disability. Those are usually like Oscar bait right there. But yeah, so just really shocking that this film was not more widely seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so I can't really comment on the quality of it. But I've heard you rave about it. I've heard other people rave about it. But yeah, it didn't get. I mean, I never heard anyone talk about it. It wasn't even mentioned in the the alternate best of the year lists that I saw.
Right, and I don't think it was mentioned at like Independent Spirit Awards, maybe because it wasn't really an independent film, because I guess Amazon, has a shit ton of money, so anything that they make can't be considered independent film.
I don't know about that.
Anyway, you can watch it on Amazon. I highly recommend that you do.
All right. Then I will go with my first pick, one that we both saw. You can recognize that. This actually shows, this is Honey Boy. And this is the on the left is Lucas Hedges plays the older version of, here's another one, of Shia LaBeouf's life story. And most of it is played by, I don't have a photo of the kid. Let me take that away. Of the younger kid who's probably like 10 or 11 in the majority of the film. But his character is played at two different ages throughout. And the older version is in rehab because he's an alcoholic later in life, assumed because of the way his dad sort of treated him growing up. And then a lot of it is just sort of told in flashback, and you sort of see how the relationship between the kid and his dad, who Shia LaBeouf plays his dad in the film and is amazing. There's so many layers in this film. Just family. It works on almost every level. Visually, cinematographically. What's the cinemagraphically?
Visually, I think covers it. Yeah.
Yeah, I started on my boot, so words may come slowly to me.
Yeah, I love this movie. A truly definition of a hidden gem for sure. A true independent. Do you remember the name of the director? Because she's really great.
Yeah, Alma Harel.
Was this her first film?
It's her second, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And she's an Israeli director. I think she was friends with Shia at first, or he had seen, that's what I think he saw her earlier film, was really impressed, and asked her to direct this one, I believe. And
an interview with him where they asked him, because he wrote this film when he was in rehab actually himself, and they asked him, well, did you have any interest in directing? And he said, I have no interest in directing. I've got a great director, she's awesome, but it's just not something I like to be in front of the camera, not behind it, which is cool.
And I'm going to be slow on the uptake, but I'm putting little icons in the upper right corner for the network where you can actually watch these films.
So this is on the Asshole Network?
This is on the Asshole Network, also known as the 500 Billionaire Network.
I think it's an asshole over a penis.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, so it is on Amazon again. But that's why I questioned when you saying Amazon is not independent, because a lot of these films were made independently and then Amazon picked them up. Like they would be at Sundance and Amazon goes to these festivals,
right?
And they buy them. So it's not like Amazon necessarily funded them from the beginning.
But that was true with He Won't Get Far on Foot.
Oh, okay.
That was funded by Amazon. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
This one I don't believe was.
No, I know it wasn't. Yeah,
it wasn't. Yeah, highly recommended. We can't show clips because we're trying to be good with the copyright people.
All right, I got one here that you can find on Hulu. Those of you that enjoy the Hulu, I do. This was a film. It's called Columbus, and it's by the director is a South Korean director. It's his debut film. Kogonada is his name. Sitting on the bench there, John Cho and Haley Richardson. I like this image because it kind of reminds me of Manhattan, if you remember the poster for that, where they're looking out over the bridge there.
Yeah. It almost looks, that photo almost looks fake. Like it's
I know, right?
Screen. But like there was nothing fake in the cinematography. It was very real. In fact, that building they're looking at, isn't that one of the buildings that his John Cho's character's father had designed, and that's why they're looking at it?
I don't remember specifically if that's true, but yeah, John Cho comes to town from Korea because his father is sick, and he meets up with Haley Richardson's character, who is kind of drifting through life a little bit, taking care of her mom. And
Mhm.
it's just to me, it's like what I love about small films that are just about. I mean, the plot you could tell in 2 sentences. I just told it to you. There's nothing really happens so much after that. But these characters have conversations, and apparently Columbus, Indiana is known for its architecture, its modernist architecture. So that is like part of the backdrop of the film, and that's something the director wanted to highlight because he was also interested in that. It's a debut. I think I don't know if I mentioned it was it's his debut film, which is also pretty.
Ah,
But yeah, just like quiet moments of characters talking, and just getting to know each other.
yeah. It's just watching a relationship develop, and it's not a romantic relationship. Just like
Mhm.
just people really connecting. I mean, it sort of reminded me of the movie with Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson. In Japan,
Lost in translation.
Lost in Translation. Sort of just like people just both kind of lost in their own lives, but they meet up and they're able to sort of work through, just sort of become deeper people because of the other person.
Yeah, they just make a real, true, honest connection, which is great to see.
And that's really hard to pull off in a film, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there's so many. It depends on chemistry, on the script, on I just imagine those types of films have a lot of rehearsing going on, and perhaps a lot of casting choices.
And I should mention, you can watch this. This film came out in 2017, and you can watch Hulu. And now that's our choice when we want to watch films. That's our only choice. And I have to say, a lot of people are totally fine with that. And I think it's a great place to be able to see a wide variety of films. But I know you're like me, Steve, is that I love to be in a movie theater. I love everything about being in a movie theater, about it being in that dark space, with other people on the big screen and everything about that. That's like kind of a magical experience. And that's something that I truly do miss right now.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I mean, I can't even imagine when we're going to be able to watch them again, or in what theaters. I mean, small theaters already were like barely hanging on. It's like, what's going to happen, a year from now? Who knows? Oh, right.
What do you
next? Okay, let's see. What do I have? I'm thinking slow here, so yeah. All right, I'm gonna go with this one. This is Support the Girls. Let's see if I find the words here. And this is directed by Andrew Buchowski, who sort of was known for being one of the first mumblecore directors, where it's basically just people talking, which often works. His films are hit and miss on that level, but this one all takes place. I'm going to read a little thing about it. Let's see what. This is what IMDb says. Lisa is the last person you'd expect to find in a highway side sports bar with curves, but as general manager at Double Whammy, she's come to love the place and its customers. And it's basically all the waitresses, in the scanty cat outfits. It's just about all of them just like interacting. There's not much plot at all. It's basically, it all takes place in one day, and you can see. And also, here's why I went with this one next, because what's her name? The fourth person is the same person in Columbus. It's the what's her name?
Haley Richardson.
Haley Richardson. That's her, the fourth from the left.
Yeah.
And let me take this away. And it's just about the relationships between the sort of the den mother woman who's the manager of this restaurant, and the girls who work there, and the customers who actually go there and are sort of the regulars. They're there almost every day. One guy works at a stereo shop, and he just, he's struggling to make a living, and the girls sort of relate to him, and they show actually he helps. One of the plot lines, basically he helps one of the girls get a home stereo, which means it's like the smallest plot device, but it's just about people in a small town just trying to get by. And one of the girls is having financial problems. And what happened before the story started is the den mother manager had given her a bunch of money to help her out. And she ends up finding out that the girl kind of spent it not for the reason she said. And so that's sort of the equivalent of the most dramatic moment. But it's just like you said with Columbus, it's just about people living their lives and trying to get by, and just the relationships between all the women. They work there, and also the behind the scenes plot line is the business isn't doing well, and so it might be getting shut down. So there's a possibility. So she's trying to talk to the owner of the property and convince him that it's worth keeping open.
It's like a Hooters type place, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like a Hooters type place. And where is that one?
Yeah, I didn't like it as much as you. I guess I just didn't care so much about the characters, or
you just don't care.
But yeah,
that also is Hulu.
A true slice of life.
True slice of life. Yeah, I like movies that often take place in a day, and it's very almost real time the way it proceeds.
Mm-hmm. All right, I got one here that you can. We're going to bring our guest in soon as he's ready. But let me go to a film that you can watch on Netflix right now, and this is a film called Other People. It was directed by Chris Kelly. His debut film. He wrote it, and it's about his life. His mother had cancer, and so you see there Jesse Plemons and Molly Shannon.
Yeah,
she plays his mom, and she has cancer in the film, and he goes home to kind of take care of her. But again, this is just a small film. Takes place in Sacramento, which is kind of fun. And Jesse Plemons is just a great, young actor. It seems like he's always really good in whatever. He's just very natural.
Yeah.
In this film, like your last film, it's just like a slice of life. It's just these characters dealing with a difficult situation. And Chrissy Plemons, also his character is gay. He's been out for a long time, but his father, played by Bradley Whitford, doesn't accept him. So he's dealing with that kind of family dynamic. And Maud Apatow also plays his sister in the film.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I was looking at I don't know if I knew who she was when I originally saw this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I remember when I watched this film, because it was the day of the Women's March downtown. It was a rainy day, and I knew that the march was going to end at Justin Herman Plaza. I was like, oh, that's where the movie theater is, the Landmark Theater. And I thought, I wonder if we could time it till we get there and we watch a movie. And it worked out. It worked out till we got there. I was with Wendy, and we ended up seeing this movie, and it was just like, wow. When you have hopes, I think, whenever you watch a film, but when the movie is flying below the radar and it just exceeds your expectations, and just a really beautiful, uplifting film for a film that is about a character that has cancer. I feel it's very, uplifting and positive and beautiful.
Yeah. And was that a movie that you had intended to see that day, or you just sort of?
I did. Oh no, I definitely plot to see movies as anytime I can. So it was like a highlight for me at the end of that March.
It's great. I remember both you and Wendy, like just saying how great it was, and I must have seen it on Netflix. And yeah, it's great. And I was very skeptical because cancer movies, 9 out of 10 of them are just maudlin and just like I just can barely stomach it. But this it's just like all the characters. It's not about it's not this long drawn out like death movie where it's just real. It's about all the family members. Yeah, you feel like almost like a document, not a documentary the way it's shot, but it just felt very real. Not like you didn't think, okay, I know what's going to happen next.
Mm-hmm. And we've all had that feeling when we go home, to that, like, that small town. You go back and the family and the people that you grew up with, and you kind of try to reconnect with them. And, it's just very relatable, and Sacramento use and to good effect there. And Molly Shannon, who we know as being obviously a very talented comedian, but she's also just a great, straight, dramatic actress as well. I thought her performance was really, really nice.
Yeah, and I'll use that opportunity to, if you had seen our last episode, which is on hidden TV gems, I had picked Enlightened, which from HBO, and I think I left out mentioning that Molly Shannon starred in season 2 of that, and she was great in that as well.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, what do you got?
All right, I'm gonna go with this. You know what this is?
I think I do. Yeah.
Yeah. And here's another image. This is another one. Willem Dafoe is so great in this. And just you can see in both of these photos just how colorful, how the pinks and the blues and the and this this is the Florida Project. And let me put up the banner for this. Here we go. Directed by Sean Baker. This came out in 2017. It's a hidden gem, although I think it might have gotten a nomination. Yeah, Willem Dafoe, I think, got a supporting nomination. I mean, to me, I would have put this in the Best Picture category. It was so real. Again, another slice of life. I mean, the girl in it, I don't know her name, but it's so hard to find a child actor who just feels real and can exhibit like emotional range. And I mean, she's snarky, she seems like a true daughter of the mom who's very irresponsible. They basically live in this hotel, which is, I guess, within a couple miles of Disney World is my guess. And so I guess, and this is in reality, there are all these hotels that are super bright, but the people who live there are extremely poor, and they're just barely getting by. And so it follows the people who live in this hotel are characters in it, although it does focus on this girl and her mom and Willem Dafoe, who's the manager at the hotel. And his character, it's like, they can barely afford, to pay the rent, and the girl goes and like steals food from the lobby, but he totally understands the predicament. So he's a very sympathetic character. But yeah, the cinematography is amazing. I thought the acting all around is great. I can't even compare it to anything. I loved it so much.
It does. It felt almost, because it was so like realistic. It did have like a documentary feel to it, because it definitely. Yeah. There were just like some long shots, and I heard Willem Dafoe talk about, living at that hotel and being the manager of that hotel. That was like him getting into that part and just really being that character, being that part, and just dealing with, shit that comes up within the course of your day with, the soda machine's broken or whatever, and he's going to go fix something. And someone's late with the rent, and kids getting into some hijinks.
We have a comment about.
I think it did get some Independent Spirit Award nominations. I know. For best film.
Yeah, deservedly. Yeah, I mean, so it's a bit less hidden, but I mean, I bet if I asked around, like 8 out of 10 people I would ask had never seen it. So,
right,
highly recommend. Oh, and where is that one? Let's see. I'm not going to go and search for that is on Netflix. Florida Project.
I've got one that I just saw recently. Actually, came out this year.
And we're going to bring a guest after this pick.
Yeah, after this one. This movie is called The Vast of Night, and it's the debut direction of Andrew Patterson. It's set in Cayuga, New Mexico, 1950s-ish period. And it's the true definition of it. This is such a small film that there are no actors that you will recognize. That's Sierra McCormick and Jake Horowitz there. Huge blockbuster actors. And the film is just like, when a director has like not a huge budget for a film, so because of that, they have to be more creative. The story has to be more interesting. The way that it's filmed, everything has to be like stronger, and that's the truth of this case. It's a very like, it's eerie, but not a horror movie at all. But it has like an eerie, ethereal spookiness to it. Basically, they're just to show you, because this is takes place partly at a radio station, and partly Sierra McCormick's character is a part-time switchboard operator. Those operators where they pull the thing out and they plug it in, they connect people in the old-timey way. And some weird sounds start coming over the airwaves, and they don't know. That's the mystery of it. What are these sounds related to? And during the course of the movie, it's a very small town, and there's a high school basketball game that's going on. And that's the start of it. There's this really long, technically very interesting tracking shot at the beginning. But yeah, check it out. I mean, I think I just remember like hearing a good review of it, and just watched it one night, and I was like really, really taken by it. It's cool when you watch a movie and there's nothing, then you don't recognize any of the actors. That's very rare nowadays, right? Then none of the actors or the director or anything, and it's just like a true small film. It was in a few film festivals, I think, and got picked up by Amazon. So check it out.
Nice. Yeah, it's on my list. I bookmarked it, and that's the thing. I've gotten so used to just streaming when I'm watching TV shows or mini series or documentaries or documentary series. I don't watch as many films streaming as in comparison. So
right,
that keeps getting pushed back on my list, but I'll move it up to the front.
It's funny how we're watching like a TV series, but we'll watch like 5 episodes of it, but we think, I don't have time to watch a 90-minute movie or whatever. But
I know.
You just have to,
it's ridiculous.
Choice, and there's nothing wrong with that. Let's bring our guest in now.
Yes.
Hey, we have Chris Brown joining in.
Right.
Welcome aboard, Chris.
Hello, how are you?
Glad to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Very good. How are you doing?
Great. Here in pandemia, I think we're all in our own little cells, and we're all fighting the same weird battles. And we're happy for movies at about this time.
Yeah. We should mention that you are a filmmaker yourself. I've seen the pleasure of seeing one of your films, which is really great. Are your films available for people to watch?
Yeah, you can see Fanny, Annie, and Danny on Amazon Prime, and you can see The Other Kids on a bunch of different platforms. Cool. And then documentaries that I've been involved with are available on a bunch of platforms too.
Nice.
Awesome.
What is your pick for us for a hidden gem?
It's a 1966 film called Seconds. And yes, this is it. And it's directed by John Frankenheimer. And almost nobody that I mentioned this film to has seen it or ever heard about it. And it's just one of my favorite films of all time. It's a film that I have to watch at least every year.
Wow.
I can't compare it to any other film. I can't even accurately slot it in any specific genre. It has some classical drama. There's melodramatic aspects of it. There are sci-fi aspects of it. There are horror aspects of it, and it mixes all these things in a strange soup and in a strange way that just sucks you in right from the first frame. The first frame is a kind of shot I don't think that had ever been done in cinema, and the credit sequence alone, I think Saul and Elaine Bass, is just an absolute stunning work of art. The music, every aspect of the film is, they don't take anything for granted. They're sort of rebuilding cinema. They're building a cinematic universe for this film, and there's I don't know that I recognize that universe in any other film. It's really like he's he's hand tooling these specific tools just to make this film. And it was shot by James Wong Howe, who, just an amazing cinematographer that was working. He started working in the silence and shot just gazillions of films. And I know that like Greg Toland is credited with bringing sort of deep focus photography to cinema with Citizen Kane and actually a bunch of films before that. But James Wong Howe was experimenting with kind of wide lenses and small apertures, which gave deep focus almost 10 years before Citizen Kane. He's just an amazing cinematographer. And he was kind of an old man by the time he shot this thing. And yet it looks like it's shot by a very, very young, excited first-time filmmaker who's just kind of grabbing the tools of film for the first time. It's very exciting, very creepy. And I haven't said anything about the plot yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where is it in Frankenheimer's oeuvre? Where is it?
It's his eighth film. It's his eighth film. And so Frankenheimer started in live TV, and he was very young. He was in his 20s. And back in the 50s, they had all these live TV, Playhouse 90 and all these. And he shot something like 140 of them. Really, truly. So by the time he made his first feature, which I think was in 1957, he was only 27. So he was like this right, he was this seasoned pro at 27. And a lot of people, I know that Coppola credits Frankenheimer with really turning him on to a lot and being one of the most exciting TV directors, along with Sidney Lumet and some other people. So by the time he gets to cinema, he's got all these different kind of tricks, and he has everybody talks about his energy. And so by the time, so this is his eighth film. He's made Birdman of Alcatraz. He's made Manchurian Candidate, which I almost wanted to mention, but I think that's probably Frankenheimer's most famous film. If you haven't seen it, rush right now. Just turn this off, and then turn me off, and then rush out and really. In fact, see it now, because seeing Manchurian Candidate right now.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I'm. Yeah.
Oh my God!
Sinatra is amazing in that.
Sinatra has never been better.
Yeah.
Sinatra has never been better in film. He's so good. You just wish he'd done more. And that he's such a performer in all of his songs, so he brings all that. But he also brings that one take. I got one in me, kid. Make sure you have me in focus. But that's a different film. We're supposed to be talking about seconds. Should I give the plot? Do you want to know a little bit about the plot? I don't want to tell.
Do you know how many seconds long the film is?
I don't. It's I don't know. Feature-length film, black and white, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful black and white. It's almost one of the last years you could kind of get away with making a black and white film. For a few years later, it was over. And so far, just if you think, like, what was it? Yeah, so like five years later, I think, was Last Picture Show, and he had to sort of make an issue out of shooting black and white. It was a novelty 5 short years later. So I can't imagine. Had this been in color, what a disaster it would have been. But in black and white, it's just one of those films that reaches into your psyche, reaches into the nightmare zone. And there's some images there that you'll never get out of your head ever. There's some moments that are so specific. And
has Rock Hudson done anything like this in his career? It seems like it really stands out. He's kind of known as almost like the romantic comedy, kind of films.
And this is the first time we've actually mentioned that Rock Hudson is in this. So one of the problems commercially with the film was that Rock Hudson's fans were horrified by it. It was not a Rock Hudson film. It wasn't a Doris Day Technicolor, piece of spun candy. And people who hated Rock Hudson didn't want to see a Rock Hudson film. So it didn't satisfy anybody. So nobody saw the thing. And such a loss, because it's such a beautiful film. And okay, here's the plot. I don't want to tell you too much, but this man he's a businessman, he's a banker. I think his name's Arthur Hamilton. He's a middle-aged guy who's done everything he's supposed to. He's followed all the rules. He lives in a house in the suburbs. He's got the job he always wanted. He probably got all the promotions. I think the Kinks sung a lot about this man, this character, well-respected man, and Blazing on a Sunday Afternoon. He's that character. He's this middle-class guy who he's somewhere along the line he lost his soul. He's got a wife. He's got a kid that he doesn't. He's really unable to communicate with anybody in his world, and he has this longing for another life, for the life he didn't live, the fork in the road that he should have taken 20 years before. And an old friend, an old classmate friend, calls him up and says, "Arthur, who's supposed to be dead, actually. The guy is dead. His friend is dead," but calls him and says, "Arthur, I'm not dead. In fact, my life has never been better, and I want to tell you about it. Go to this corner and blah, 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 blah. Someone will contact you. There's a company that will erase your life, that will give you a new identity, that will find a corpse and burn it up, and people will think it's you. They'll change your face. They'll change your persona. They'll change your outward appearance, and they'll give you a new life. They'll move you to a new place. They'll give you a new life, and the new life is sort of a dream life. It's what you've always dreamed of." This man who's a banker wanted to be an artist, so they give him a new name. They give him a new identity. The new identity is Rock Hudson. I don't want to tell you much more than that because I really want people to see this movie.
Wow.
It made me.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say maybe what you were going to say. Like it sounded like a little bit like a Twilight Zone plot line, a little bit like where there was going to.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, or Eternal Sunshine has a little bit of that.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. It goes. I think it goes a little. I love the Twilight Zone. It goes a little deeper. It's a darker. It's not so moralistically simple as some Twilight Zones can be in that kind of hang way, but it's heartbreaking, it's funny, it's groundbreaking. It was a disaster, commercial disaster.
It's a hard sell.
Hard sell. I mean, and I can't. Right. I think Eternal Sunshine. That is probably the closest film I know, but that's the tone of that film is utterly different.
Right.
But that's really the closest film I know. How did they explain this thing in the late 60s?
It sounds like a witness protection program a little bit, right? Like you get that new identity, not physically, but similar to that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what you're talking about, like the black and white, made me think of a film that I'm pretty excited about, and maybe you are if you've heard of it, called Mank. Do you know about Mank?
About Mankiewicz, about the author, the writer of Citizen Kane.
Yeah, so it's David Fincher film that he shot it in black and white, and I heard an interview with the cinematographer, and he said that Fincher wanted to shoot the movie as if he was making it in 1940. Everything about it has the look of that. And as you say, they very rarely make black and white movies anymore. And whenever they do, I don't care what it's about. I want to go see black and white, new black and white film.
Me too. It's just it takes you out of it. It helps you. It helps the illusion, I guess. It helps make believe. It deletes distractions. You can sort of focus more in a way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're distracted by color.
Right.
It's too garish or too something.
So for people that are colorblind, everything's
a black and white movie.
Yeah.
And for colorblind people too, it's you have different realms of colorblindness, different colors, and different. So it's what must that? I mean, I'm sure we're all a little bit different. I'm sure we're all seeing slightly different colors. I
remember I want to say when I was like 18, 19, I watched soap operas
Mm-hmm.
After school, and I remember one time you remember the old TV sets, the tube TV sets we had, and I turned the color off. So it was,
oh, that's interesting. Was it more interesting suddenly?
oh my God, it was so,
It was like film noir.
yeah, they're so flat. They're all filmed on, video before everything
When
was.
you were a kid, I was really confused when I was a kid because soap operas had this different look. It was video, but I didn't know what that was when I was a little kid. But I was really confused by why does this feel so different than other TV shows? But just that video quality was.
Yeah. There's a great transitions I find are really interesting in soap operas because there's a lot of like close up on a hand, knob, right? And then
a telephone.
Yeah, they need something to cut away to.
Yeah.
And also, people never face each other. They're like they're both facing the camera.
I'm here, and then my mistress is here.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow, that's a great. I really want to see that film now. The way that you speak of it, definitely.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, here's the edition you need to get. I don't get a percentage. This is the Criterion, and it's got such great extras. If you're an extra junkie, like I like to watch a movie, then watch every single iteration of it, and watch all the interviews and all the goofy stuff, even the dumb slideshows. I love it all, and just full immersion, full film school experience in a box, kind of.
Yeah, that's been one of the sad parts of streaming. Like I just watched a movie. There's probably you probably find things online that are the equivalent of the DVD extras or Blu-ray extras, but I don't know how you find them.
Well, the Criterion channel has all the extras.
Oh.
So once you dial in, you can go in there and just immerse yourself. I still like physical media for a lot of my favorite films, but man, the Criterion channel, which is only like a year and a half old, I think now.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. So if you like extras and you like all that nerd stuff, like I do,
And you mentioned Criterion. I want to give a shout out to Canopy. It's the public library.
Oh, yeah, right.
And there's a lot of really interesting. This is the kind of film that would be on there. It's a very independent foreign films, older films, new films, but it's a really pretty eclectic collection of stuff. I would definitely recommend checking out.
Canopy's got a great model too. I mean, a great model for viewers, a great model for filmmakers. I think they really respect filmmakers, and it's one of the few platforms that actually supports filmmakers, in a real way. Usually filmmakers you kind of turn your film over and then expect to be, mailed a check that will buy you a medium cappuccino. The Canopy's pretty good.
Yeah, you probably heard about the controversy with Netflix. They're saying now that if you are watching it via the app on your phone, that they will be making available the ability to change the speed up to 3 times. And all the filmmakers are,
speed.
No, it goes up to 1.5 speed. Yeah. I don't think it's 3 times
faster.
So is it so you mean you can choose to watch it at 1.5?
Yeah. Or 0.5 as well. Anywhere in between.
Yeah. Okay, so people will be able to consume more.
Yes.
Just like you can with a podcast, you can do that with audio podcasts.
I don't know how people do that. It's just weird to take out the pauses in podcasts.
It is weird, yeah. Sometimes it accidentally happens, and you're sort of it's disturbing.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there's been such an outcry, obviously, from filmmakers that say, we will boycott, we will pull all our films if you try to do this and, change your content in this way that we work so hard to make, a specific way, and you can't give people the opportunity to change it like that.
I wonder if Netflix cares.
They'll care if their numbers go down.
They're just looking at the fly, which represents all of filmmakers, and they just say, "Oh, we're sorry, you don't like that. We're just going to be the behemoth."
I know the open-minded part of myself kind of wants to try watching like a film I've seen a million times at 1.5 speed, just to or half or even slower, just to see. Watch Annie Hall at slow speed. I don't know.
The pathetic part of me is like, well, as long as my film is being seen somehow, I don't care if people want to interact with it or watch it in a weird way. If to be seen as a filmmaker is something really true.
Yeah. And so kudos to the streaming sites, and there's more opportunities for filmmakers to get their work in front of eyeballs, which is,
For sure.
the bottom line.
For sure.
That you want to do. Yeah.
Have you noticed that as a filmmaker, that since the pandemic, I don't know if you have a way of tracking like views of your work online, if it's gone up?
It's very fuzzy. I can't really tell. I can't really tell. Don't know. Yeah, everybody's very mysterious about it. I know that they know.
They don't like that information to get out. Yeah.
Really, yeah. There's always a wall with all of them. It's a little mysterious. And unless you take full control of it, and which you can do, but it's always the problem of how do you let people know? I mean, I know that people are going to stumble into the film of mine that's on Amazon, and and that used to be on Netflix actually, and people stumbled. So that's the good part of it. People can stumble upon it, and but
you can. A lot of almost, I wouldn't say all, but for the majority of films on the different sites that you can watch trailers, which I enjoy. I mean, I like watching a trailer, but not one that gives too much away.
Don't give anything away. Just tempt me. Just give me a little tiny bit of the sizzle, but don't. No plot points, no twists, no. Come on, don't ruin the story. Damn it.
Yes.
I hate that.
Yeah. Well, Chris, thank you so much for.
Thanks for having me. This was really fun.
Yes.
I wanted to say just quickly.
Yeah.
The name of the girl in Florida Project, Mooney, the character Mooney.
Yes.
Her name is Brooklyn Prince.
Oh, great.
It's a film I love, and I had some friends that my friend produced it, and other people. Man, I love that movie. Mm-hmm. I'm glad you're talking about it, because it's just a perfect movie. My wife Jill and I were just stunned silent afterwards. We couldn't say a word. So
yeah,
highly recommend.
Before you go, like, speaking of, I was thinking when you were talking about black and white, like to me, Florida Project would not work as black and white. I feel like the colors were such a character of that movie.
Absolutely. And the prior film that Sean Baker did, Tangerine.
Yeah, Tangerine.
Did that film, and the colors, just these luscious kind of Kodachromy, almost surreal color. Absolutely. No, he uses color brilliantly, celebrates color, and makes it purposeful and not just accidental, not just something that happened to be. Every color is chosen. They painted the hotel. They everything.
Oh, really? So the hotel wasn't that color originally?
No. They completely designed that film.
No, that's awesome.
Shot it on film. That was shot on film, except for that last scene that we don't want to give away.
Do you know, was the shot on 16 or Super 16 or
Florida Project? Yeah, 35.
Oh, it was 35. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the former Tangerine was shot on an iPhone.
Right? Yeah.
So, and both brilliant. You don't even care what the medium is. You just know it's beautiful.
So his next one's going to be IMAX.
Maybe. Right. Yeah. Thank you both.
Great. Yeah. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye. Great. Cool. That was awesome.
Yeah, it's great to have a filmmaker chime in and, the film that I saw of his, I'm blanking on the name of it, but it's so good. So I was, just really taken aback.
We'll put it in the YouTube comments.
Yeah.
Speaking of YouTube comments, anything there? Nope. Just double checking. Why don't we do one more pick each? And why don't you start?
Okay. Here we go. This is a film you can find on Netflix. It's called Burning. The director is Lee Chang-dong. It's based on a Haruki Murakami short story. Stephen Yeun, you probably recognize there from Walking Dead, one of the actors in the film. Yu In and Jeon Jong-seo. Apologize for my pronunciation. It's shot in Korea. And you on the left there,
Oh, let me. I'll
plays
go back.
a young delivery man who runs into a childhood friend who's the woman next to him. And she asks if he will look after her cat while she's away. And he does. And then she returns and then she disappears. And there's a bit of a mystery involved.
She returns after she disappears after she returns.
No, she goes on a trip and he looks after her cat. And then she comes back and he picks her up at the airport and Steven Yeun is there and they seem really chummy. And he's a little jealous of them. And Steven Yeun's character is kind of sophisticated. It's kind of unclear what he does for a living, but he has a nice car, has money. And and then she disappears and then he just tries to figure out how that happened. The cinematography is beautiful, shot in Korea, clearly. It's just like a psychological mystery. It's really foreboding kind of a feeling about it, but also just like beautiful shots of them. They're just looking at the sunset there. Again, it's like a lot of, there's no action really involved.
Does it take place in South Korea?
It does, yeah. And you could tell they use it to good effect. This was another film I saw on the screen, and it's just really, I didn't know much about it, I think. The director has done one other film. This was his second film. But I just read some good things about it, and really beautiful, really, really well shot, and draws you into that mystery and, younger characters and what they're doing with their life. And pretty cool. Came out in 2018, so pretty new, and you can watch that on Netflix. What do you got?
Oh, I should have put Netflix little logo on there.
Where's the Anna? Come on.
My overlays, I'm a little late on them. All right, I'm trying to decide. I have 3 picks here. I'm trying to decide between. I think I'm going to go with something fun that both of us saw and we saw together. And I'm going to put this image first because it's pretty awesome. This almost seems like a fake image, but
Totally.
right? Do you recognize it?
Yeah.
And here's another one. Wait, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about Swiss Army Man, and this. Did we see it in a film festival, or did it just come out in the theaters when we saw it? I can't remember.
Okay, we saw it with Wendy. I know, right?
Yeah, we saw it, and this is directed by the Daniels, starring Paul Dano and Daniel Radcliffe. This is almost literally impossible to describe as a film because. And this film was so it wasn't controversial as much as misunderstood, I think, or just people just couldn't get it. Right there, basically, Paul Dano is like stranded on a deserted island, living by himself. He's got this gigantic long beard, and up washes a body. Daniel Radcliffe's body washes up, and he thinks it's dead, but he's actually still alive, but he has certain abilities which are kind of shown here, where the reason he's able to ride him like a boat is because apparently when you die, you have really powerful flatulence. This movie takes basically fart humor to a level that I don't think it could ever be surpassed.
Yeah. It's there's never been a movie with this subject matter, that's for sure. I mean, you're watching like an original movie, like an original premise for a film. There's probably 5 plots that they just kind of regurgitate over and over again with the film.
Yes.
This is not one of those 5. This is number 85 or whatever. But yeah, it's just like a weird premise. The acting, between Paul Dano, of course, is a great actor in everything he does. And Daniel Radcliffe. I don't know if this was like the first film where you're like, oh yeah, Daniel Radcliffe, when he's not Harry Potter. He's a pretty good actor.
Yeah, he might have done a couple other films before this, but neither of them were sort of known for their humor. I mean, they were always like in very serious films, and
Right.
so this and there are serious elements to this, but it in a absurdist fashion. But I mean, they have like deep conversations while they're on this island, and it's plot wise. I feel like I need to see it again. I haven't seen it since we originally saw it, and I literally think we saw it in. If you don't live in the Bay Area, this won't mean anything to you, but the Sundance Film Theaters, which I guess is the Kabuki again, or the Kabuki, which is now Sundance.
AMC.
Theater. Oh, it's AMC now. It's the Theater One, which is a gigantic theater, which has an upstairs. We were like 3 of 10 people in the whole entire theater. And it was like opening weekend. So we kind of knew it wasn't going to be a hit.
Yeah, why was it in that theater? That seems weird.
Yeah.
They have there is on the first floor a tiny little theater in that theater that usually they put the smaller films. But yeah, it didn't make sense why that film.
Yeah.
Although Wendy helped with the grosses by seeing it like 5 times in the theater, I think. She loved that movie.
I know. I feel like maybe I should have done that. And the Daniels, I think I believe it's their first film, and they were known for their music videos prior to this. And I'm going to see if I can find their info. Turned Down for What was the music video that they made. It's an amazing. If you just look it up on YouTube, it's an amazing music video where the characters basically just fall through the roof of an apartment building. So they're in one apartment, then they fall through the roof of the next one, and then their next apartment building. Mm-hmm. And it's an amazing cinematography. And of course, the wiki doesn't really list it here. Let's see what. So I can't tell you more about it right off the bat. But anyways, Swiss Army Man. It's on Netflix. If you like absurdist fiction, but I don't know, there's something about it that reminds me. Maybe it's because Paul Dano reminds me of who's the main actor in Harold and Maude.
Oh yeah. He is a lot.
Yeah, he kind of looks like although he has a beard in this, he looks very different. But there's his acting style sort of reminds me of it, and there's something about Harold and Maude that's also like there's like an emotional absurdist dynamic. Although that Harold and Maude is very much based in reality for the most part, whereas this is completely insane. But if you like, I can't even think of anything to compare it to. There's a bear that appears at one point.
Well, it's a great, like I was saying with one of the earlier films, when you don't have a huge budget, you have to get creative. How can we make something interesting without giant sets, with just a couple of actors for almost the entire film? It looks like they were shooting in someone's backyard or something, that just like doubling for The Jungle or something. But yeah, you have to get creative. I think it makes you a stronger, storyteller, a stronger writer. And yeah, that completely works with this movie. It's like you could throw $10 million at this movie and it wouldn't be a better movie. It's just, it kind of works on the small budget, I think.
Karen Meyer lets us know, but it was Bud Cort.
Yes.
And also here's another comment that Karen Meyer wanted to offer. This movie is in my list of top 10 movies I'm glad I didn't see. Just to let you know, Karen Meyer is my wife, and that's the photo of her is exactly what she looks like here. She was invited to go see this when we went to see it, just to put it out there. And one more comment to recommend it. If you like farting in the tub, you'll love this movie.
Right after this, you should make her watch the Frankenheimer movie with you.
Yes, I will. She might like that, actually.
Yeah, that I'm pretty excited to see that movie. It's a pretty weird one.
Did he mention where we can see it? Because I didn't
believe
know if that was.
it is on Amazon. Yeah.
Oh, Amazon. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are there any other movies we didn't get to that you wanted to just give a mention to?
Well, yeah, I could.
A quick. We'll do we've hit the hour mark. We're gonna do like a quick rundown of some other picks that you might like.
There we go.
Oh, here we go. I see what you've done here. Oh my God, 33 minutes. Was that how long it was? Oh, there you go. This is Swiss Army Man right here. This right now, this is the trailer to Swiss Army Man we're watching. This was before I knew you. You made this one all washed up before I knew you.
Yeah.
There you go.
You can see it's on YouTube. It's called All Washed Up. Beautiful acting by myself.
Yeah.
It's a slightly younger version of me. That's from about 25 years ago. Shot by our friend Liz Sale.
More than 25, more like 32.
Oh, wait.
You didn't make this in 95.
No, I did.
No, you didn't. You graduated in 91.
I didn't make it I made it after graduation.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, so I did know you.
So this is an example of when you have $0 for a budget. Shoot on the beach, a public beach.
Wow.
Deck of cards. Yeah. This is you.
Yeah. Wow.
So you're in the movie.
You know, I actually, this is how long ago it was. I actually did work on this. I was there on this film, and I totally forgot. I thought this was a Santa Cruz film.
You were not there.
I was not there. I was there at some of it, wasn't I?
Nope.
No. I felt like I was there. I was there in spirit.
I just shot it. Me and Liz shot it.
All right. Well, fine. I don't have a college film to promote here.
It's not a college film. It's a post-college film.
Well, it's basically a college film.
No, it's independent. It's independently produced film. I have to rent the equipment with my own money.
What?
That's right.
All right. I'm gonna show one film I want to promote because I think it is timely now. Here's a film right here. If anyone gets it, right there on the left is name the actor.
Yeah, I know him. I can't remember his name.
Campbell Scott, Jesse Eisenberg, Isabella Rossellini. This is Roger Dodger, directed by Dylan Kidd. Find it. It came out in the early 2000s. It's pretty much the only good film that the director ever made. I'm trying to find another image from it. There's Jesse Eisenberg. And then here is a comic book by Roger Dodger. This comic sort of is exactly right here. The sort of misogyny and sexist overtones in this comic right here basically describes the film but it's really interesting. It's basically a guy who just thinks he's the smoothest talking guy in the world, and how Jesse Eisenberg, who's a teenager at the time, he suddenly has to sort of take care of him or show him the ropes of how to pick up women, and he ends up showing how bad he is at that entire process. But anyways, I think in this sort of Me Too era, it kind of has extra layers to it in these days. So that's my recommendation. It's not Netflix. Take that off the screen.
Yeah, I remember seeing that one in the theater. Great movie, great small movie, really good. Jesse Eisenberg. Yeah, I don't know if we knew. Yeah, I guess.
He might have done one film before that. I don't think. Well, did he debut in it?
He looks so young now. You know what I mean? Like, even as he's one of those guys that just has that young look. He always looks like he's like 20 or something. Mm-hmm. So I know I believe he was a teenager when he made that movie. But yeah, it is kind of.
Squid. I don't know if Squid and the Whale came out before or after this, but they were right around the same time.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, the relationship between those two in that movie, it's really, really good.
If you're one of the 4 people watching this right now, thank you for tuning in. If you're one of the thousands of people who are going to watch this later, feel free to add in the comments on YouTube or Facebook what your film hidden gems are, and
Because we'll watch them.
yeah, we'll watch them.
Yeah.
We want to know. We want to start a discussion. We want to have some, communication.
And we will list all the films that were mentioned in the show soon in the comments, so you can go back and review, and we'll put where you can find them, because we know that's important. So we'll have a list of the films and where you can find them. So you get a lot more time now. You're at home, get off those TV shows and watch some real movie with a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yeah. Or even just, one of those 3 is good.
I like just I'm a middle.
Yeah.
I'm middle. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it. Next time, are we gonna tell people what?
Let's tell them. Yeah. We're gonna do hidden gem
documentaries. Hidden gem, which in a way, it's almost most documentaries are hidden gems, so it's not really. But we're gonna go deeper than the
Michael Moore films.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna go deeper into the
genre. Yeah, we felt like documentaries deserve their own show because they're so powerful. I love documentaries. When you watch a good documentary, it's so cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
So put on your thinking caps, get ready to come, and we don't know if it's going to be 1 week from today or 2 weeks from today. So, because we're just free flowing, but whatever it is, come back, come re-experience the Steve and Colin show, the Steve and Colin really good show.
Really
good. All right. See you next time.
Bye.